It seems like I'm always replacing items on the homestead, which gets expensive over time. And I feel like I can mitigate a lot of those expenses by properly winterizing. So we're nearing the end of October right now as I'm filming this, and it's definitely cooling off, although we don't have snow on the ground. However, my irrigation's already been turned off, so that basically signals to me it is time to start winterizing. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm glad to have you. We are all about better soil, better plants, better animals. But today we're talking about how to winterize your homestead and doing it in such a way that I think in the long run will save hundreds of dollars every single year. So if that's up your alley, keep watching the video. Going to be talking about everything we do here to winterize properly. Let's get to it. So what I mean by winterizing is basically doing all the chores that are preparing me for winter to come. Mostly that's going to be getting tools and items that live outside, getting them inside if they could be damaged by that. All right, let's look inside the shed here. We've got our riding mower. So what I'm going to want to do with this bad boy, take in that battery. Batteries are not hard to take out. It's basically just unhooking this right here, unscrewing these, and taking it out. I am going to wait to do this until I get my last mow in, which will probably be in a week. So that is something that will happen in about a week. Everything else is pretty much what I'm going to be doing the rest of the day. Maybe the most important thing is taking hoses in. Hoses cost a ton of money, and especially if you have a property like mine. It's not 100% underground. I have 1.5 inch pipe that goes to kind of the main like quadrants or sections of the homestead, and then I run hose from there, which is not the long-term solution. But you see right here, I've got this spigot right here and this hose that runs down. And you can see it goes all the way to, boy, it's real bright. It goes all the way down to right there, takes a U-turn and splits, and ironically comes all the way back here. I've got one hose right there and I've got another one down there. So I've got about 350 feet of hose right here that has to go in. I've got about 200 feet of hose up front that has to go in. So I'm not going to actually show you how I wind up hose. I think you can find better things to do with your day than watch me wind up hose. My main line over here, which is absolutely the most inconvenient spot for me, but basically what it comes down to is taking up the box, so if you've got a box like this, don't be intimidated about what it all looks like in there. All I need to do, I don't have to touch any of this. I just need to grab some pliers and just turn this piece off. I can't do it with my hand. But this is where the water comes in from the city, and then it's given to me. So I'm just going to shut it off at the source. The reason being, so if it freezes, which it obviously will, the pipes don't burst. Now, something nice about this pipe that we just got, because we just laid that pipe this year, is there's some kind of like a pressure sensor within the pipe, and within our whole property there's 7 or 8 little drain ports that if it does freeze over, it releases that pressure. I was also told that when they dug it, that it was deep enough to not really have to worry about freeze, but we'll see. At any rate, turning off my secondary water source from the city is going to be the best. You can see another thing along with hoses. Just as I'm walking, I've got kind of my homemade sprinkler right there. Picking that up, bringing that in. Okay, one other piece on the Winterizing homestead that I've already done is give the property one last deep watering, which I've already done. I basically spent the last day that I had water sprinklers nonstop for 24 hours just hitting every inch of the property really, really well. I'll tell you what was a priority to me. I have all this new grass. Man, the sun is killing me right now. It's not my friend in the filming department. So I've got all this new grass that I actually have to water with like a watering pail now, with like culinary water, just to get this new grass to take off. So that was a priority for me. You can see where it hits the rest of the pasture. So trying to get it to come in. I didn't have a lot of seed. But you can see trying to get this all watered. So I will continue to have to water that, but just not with my secondary water. Another priority was getting their chicken run as wet as possible, because we use that as a compost field. And if you know anything about compost, you know that it likes to be nice and moist. That's how the good compost gets made. Now, as far as animals go, we have sheeps. That's not how you say multiple sheep. We have sheep, we have chickens, and we have rabbits. As far as the winterization process for them, basically for the chickens, what we'll do is we'll create kind of an A-frame just with some old windows that we had some windows replaced and we kept our windows. So we just kind of make an A-frame in their run so they can kind of have this like greenhouse effect, a little like warm area outside their coop, and make sure that their water has a De-Icer in it. So that's another thing, is get the De-Icers out of storage. And as far as my sheep go, what my plan is, I'm going to let them graze on the pasture as best as they can. You can see, look behind me, you can guess which side they've been on for the past 3 weeks. They're just chilling over here. I love the fall. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. They are so quiet out there. But my goal for winterization, at least, is keep them there for a little bit longer, maybe the weekend, and then get them up to this nice grass. I've got a big, you can see over there, let's just walk toward it. I've got a big water tank for them, so that's going to serve as their water. I have a great De-Icer that is built for livestock grade plastic. We just had some wind, so there's some leaves there, but I love the size of that thing. It makes it really easy to not have to fill it up that often, especially just pour just a little dash of apple cider vinegar in there to just kind of help fight any gunk or bad bacteria that floats in there. So I'm walking right now to the barn. We lamb in the barn, at least we did last year. This year in the lambing barn, we actually have enough hay this year, which is something we didn't have last year. So as you can see, loads of hay. We started with 50 bales. I think I've used 4 or 5 just while my pasture was getting reseeded. So I got about 45 bales here. What I need to do is move all this junk out of here. And then this row, this lane that you see right here, I need to, as best I can, stack it higher. You can see I've got some open room right here, and then go right up to this wall again. The reason being is because this is where we'll lamb in April. And so what I'll do is I'll build 4, I plan to have 4 ewes in here. I think they'll each have about a 5 by 7 foot stall to lamb, if my math is right. And so they'll be in this lane right here. So I need to get this hay out of the way, because as of right now, there's no space for lambing stalls to be built. But winterization does include making sure I have enough hay to overwinter. All of this hay, 50 bales, cost about $240, I think. So I'm really pleased with that price. And that should last me actually well into spring. So I would guess real feed, I'd be going through about 1.5 bales, maybe to 2 bales a week in the hard winter. Okay, another winterization thing. Maybe it's not really winterization, but it does take place in the winter. Our stud ram comes, which will be really cool. So what we're doing, that paddock back there that I just showed you, where the sheep are right now, where are they? Move the camera so we can see them. They're in the shade. The sheep back there, like I said, in a couple days I'm going to move them to this paddock and keep them here for as long as I can. In Utah, we typically see some snowfall late October, early November, and then it starts to stick. in December. So my hope is to basically keep them here as long as I can, because early December we're getting a stud ram. Really all I need to do is make sure I run a line out to the De-Icer back here where the sheep will be with the ram. The reason why I want them far away, even though it's a pain for the to run electricity out here for a De-Icer, that, you know, we live over there, and if we got to tend to the chickens or something, we'll have to walk through this side of the pasture. So if you've got an intact ram here and it's during mating season, I feel fine about being back here if I'm carrying a shovel or a stick, but like my wife and definitely my kids, I can't risk it. So the ram will be back there for about a month, hopefully. It should cover at least a cycle from all 5 ewes. So not winterization, but it will take place in the winter. So I'm going to walk to the chicken coop right now to show you kind of one last project that we're doing before winter hits. But overall, it's not that hard to winterize. It just takes some common sense. All you have to do really is think about what could break during winter and what needs to be done during winter, and what do you not want to do during winter? What are the projects that can wait? And then get done what needs to be done in the meantime. That will save you a lot of money in the long run. Buying hoses every year, buying sprinklers every year is not worth it. It is so not worth it. Just take an afternoon, de-winterize, or winterize. Okay, the last project that we're doing here has to do with these bunnies. So bunnies are some of the easiest animals to overwinter. They love the cold. It's actually the summers that are worse for them. These are 2 does and our buck. Our buck's New Zealand. Our does are silver fox. But there's really one thing that needs to be done for overwintering them. Food doesn't change, but these, more specifically right here on the nipple portion of it, that will freeze over and they won't be able to drink. So all we got to do is put dishes out instead of this, and then change the dishes out pretty much daily, unless we have a warm day. But just don't let the dishes freeze up. And then our last project that we're doing, again, not necessarily winterization, but this is our first winter with rabbits. So we really want to picture like a screened ramp that goes below, like right below the rabbits, and catches their poop. The reason being is I really want to start catching bunny manure, so when spring comes, we just have bags and bags full of bunny manure. Again, not winterization specifically, but just something we want to do. We don't want to do during the winter, so we should do it now. Okay, so that's it for me today. You know what I'm doing the rest of my day. It's really spent bringing in hoses, finishing off a few chores, turning off my irrigation, and then in a week or so I'll take the battery out of the riding lawnmower. So I would suggest, you know, if you get freezing temperatures, you got to take some winterization precautions. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by this video. If you have any questions, if you have any tips, especially if I missed something, please post them in the comments below. I'd love to know. I'd love to get your experiences of homesteading and how you winterize on your homestead. So that's all I got for today. I'm PJ with the High Mountain Homestead. I'll see you on the next video.